blasphemy law. There is no punishment for blasphemy. It's not there. Secondly, I would say that if we abolish those laws, we can do that. There's no problem. Or if we have them. The main thing is that we should have education. People must be educated, and educated that even the Prophet, peace be upon him, did not say a word of contempt to the people who literally abused him. So that's the behavior that we should have. I don't condone the actions that happened in France, the Charlie Hebdo thing. I don't condone that a murder. It's a murder. It shouldn't have happened. What I was emphasizing on was the importance of a dialogue. As Farzana Hassan in the end of her speech said, that dialogue is important. And I agree with her there. Dialogue is very important so that we know the sensitivities of each other. Another thing is that when you make an insulting cartoon about somebody who is revered by so many people, you are not actually doing anything positive. So things should be done in positive. And discussion and disagreement is very important. That's how we learn. That's what our religion is about. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So there are three quick points that I would like to make. One of the point is a friend here talked about Ghazali and Ibn Rushd and the disagreement. In a shortest summarized way, if I can articulate the difference between their opinion, it was that Ibn Rushd held the opinion that everything can be doubted, while Ghazali held the opinion that everything can be doubted except what has been decided by Quran. So there was a fundamental difference, and the Western sciences went for the Ibn Rushd investigative mechanism, and they took it from there. So in a simple language, this was the disagreement between Ghazali and so that was the one point. Second point, I want to address the Asma's point of it's a fair warning to all Muslims out there that government of Pakistan, listen, FIR is a document. It's an official document. You are here. When someone commits a blasphemy against our Prophet, someone actually writes it down. Imagine repeating. Blasphemy is a word that should not be uttered at the first place. But someone is actually writing it down. Government of Pakistan is actually storing it somewhere because FIR are stored. What if some Western lunatic journalist has access to all these FIRs and then publish in the name of in a book or something, right? So this is another problem of writing down, like Muslims writing down blasphemous things in the...
No, in FIR they don't write those blasphemous words.
Then you cannot prosecute.
They prosecute.
So that's without writing it, we are prosecuting. That's a bigger problem.
Because writing it would actually constitute blasphemy. But that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That is what we are talking about.
Exactly.
It is not ridiculous. It is insane.
Insane.
And I will go to that extent that it is religion that makes you insane.
And that's why we are saying that they must be repealed, not modified. And some folks said that the insult in 1888 go back. No, we should not.
Blasphemy is not an Arabic or Urdu word. Gustakhi Rasool. That is in Urdu they call it Gustakhi. Gustakhi Khuda pe koi saza nahi hai. Namus-e Risalat, Gustakhi Rasool. Still they don't. And when the case starts, that starts with the Holy Quran, that what I heard is blasphemous. What you heard, you will never repeat.
I'm saying
Just
that's a slaughter of justice.
It's
right
a slaughter.
There. So the idea of insult, the concept that you said that it's okay to go back to the 1888 law, British law against insult, again you have to write down the insult.
Yes.
And the problem is that we should not write down the blasphemous insult against the Prophet. So the Muslims should actually oppose this more than the people who...
That is a simple language of law, that anybody who insults any religion will be taken to task. That's what, but this is one sentence of no against any insulting any religion. But that is
my name is Mohammed F.O.T.H. One thing I can't understand, that why blasphemy is always in Islamic countries, particularly in Pakistan. I don't hear blasphemy crying in some other religions, in some other countries. Is Islam a special religion? Is this religion better than other religions? I can't understand. I don't think that blasphemy is a problem. Problem is understanding the religion, and we should do something about the religion. We are starting on the wrong track.
So the answer to Iqbal Saab's question is the blasphemy laws exist in multiple countries, and including Christian countries, and even in some Christian countries which are very secular countries like Sweden and Norway, they still there. In England, only a few years ago, the blasphemy laws were removed from the annals of the laws. So they do exist, but what has happened over the years, for the last 300 years, after what we call Peace of Westphalia, that all of this religious persecution and religious killing has been gradually reduced to null. So those laws are sitting there. People like us and Center of Inquiry are asking even those laws should be removed from the book, so that in future there is never ever a chance with a fanatic guy, maybe a Muslim takes over Sweden, for example. Then he will start using those laws, right? Or Norway, or somewhere else. So Muslims are increasing in number. I'm not saying in jest, but you should also look at the reality. We claim they're the largest religion, growing religion in the United States. So what if we become the president of USA tomorrow and say to hell with the Constitution and we will kill Iqbal Saab for blasphemy? Short answer.
No, I disagree fundamentally with people who are saying that the 1880 law was somehow fair because, you know, the blasphemy law was against every religion. I think that ideas are not more important than real people. Yes, they're very important, but religious ideologies, and for people who challenge them, it's the people, the real people who are alive, who are more important, and they have the right to challenge it. That's one idea that I want to put forward. Now, there are 1.some billion Muslims in the world. They revere the Prophet, you know, they uphold their beliefs. But if I'm an agnostic, why do I need to respect it? Please answer me that. You know, I mean, this is a very important question that needs to be answered in this debate, and no one seems to be talking about it.
I'll answer that question.
Do, please.
Please go ahead. Please.
उन्होंने कहा कि why, if I'm an agnostic, why am I not allowed to insult your religion?
Exactly.
My question. My neighbor, next door neighbor, likes to listen to loud music, and I don't like music. He can play music in his apartment, but until 11 o'clock, and as long as it does not disturb me. He doesn't have the right to disturb me with his love for music. That's my answer.
I think I have a question on that. I have a question on that.
I just wanted to say one sentence, is that I, as a non-believer and as atheist person, I feel that I listen a lot of things every day which is against, which hurts me and which are against about my values. So if somebody says that God is great, I get offended. I get offended. And I am very offended. But nobody cares about it.
God is great.
She just said it herself.
अपना नाम बताइए।
जी, मेरा नाम एजाज शेख है, मैं टोरंटो में रहता हूँ। Oh, I was speaking Urdu. My God, I should be speaking English. Okay, so my name is Ejaz Sheikh. So I'm saying like if you say that that you are you're playing the music which is religious.
Sorry?
No, not really.
No, I'm saying, for example, you are playing a music, a song which is religious inside your apartment, for example, right? And then how, if you are playing before 11 o'clock,
Sorry?
before 11 p.m., you are playing the religious music before 11 p.m. So you are allowed to play the religious song, Islamic religious song, if your neighbor is atheist. For example, you are saying that, let me convert it into different words. Basically, when we are saying that you have the freedom of expression in Pakistan 1973 Constitution, and then you are saying that you have a blasphemy law, so basically it is going to cut each other off. And when we say, as an atheist lady said, that when I disagree with what you are imposing on me, when I disagree your religion, what is imposing on my freedom of expression, then you are taking me to the court and finally to a capital punishment. This is not just that you should be respected whatever you believe in. It's not just believing in, but basically it's also murdering me. So this is what I have to say.
Let me answer to this question.
Just, we have time for one last question, so anyone wants
Honestly, I didn't completely get your question, but what I understand is that you're saying if you're playing religious, I didn't even talk about religious or non-religious music. I was just trying to make a point that you can play music in your apartment, and I said 11 o'clock just, because the government bylaws, as far as I know, the city bylaws, they don't allow you to make noise or play loud music after 11. That's what I think.
But
your
religion does not have the right to murder me because I disagree.
No, I already said.
No,
I already said.
When I disagree on what you said about Muhammad in the history, what you say, I disagree. That you say Muhammad was like a glorification, all these things. When I disagree, then I am blasphemous. Yeah.
Well, I can only reply or I can only clarify on my behalf. I'm not responsible for 1.6 billion Muslims. You should understand that. And to me, if you say things like that, I'm not going to prosecute you. I would have a dialogue with you. I would ask you, where do you base your questions upon? And I would try to have a dialogue with you. Whether after that dialogue you agree or you disagree, we agree to disagree. I have been involved in, okay, first of all, I have been here for over 40 years. I have not lived in Pakistan. So I'm not familiar who started blasphemy laws or what happened in 1973. Please don't ask me.
So I want to have this dialogue in Pakistan. Would you okay to come over there?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, you can have a dialogue with me anywhere. It doesn't matter.
So let's
it doesn't
decide
matter.
today.
But listen.
Personal, I think.
I'm just talking about on my behalf, just about myself. I don't know how he's gonna feel or how he's gonna feel or what he's gonna say. I'm not responsible.
So he's taking it personally.
From the public, Khalisa,
Next session we will do.
yeah. Ask only the question. Only the question.
Last comment from Don. If you'd like to make a comment, then we will finish. Comment or question. We have great inspiration. He's from our humanist group. It has been a great inspiration. An actor, actually, he's an artist, an actor, played on the high-end Broadway in New York. So we are very proud. Happy that he came here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sohail. It just seems to me that by definition, Allah, God, is all-powerful. If that is true, can he not look after punishment for those who blaspheme against him himself?
why does he need us to work out his vengeance? It just seems to me to be logically difficult to make that bridge. God apparently has an arsenal of chastising devices, such as lightning, tsunamis, volcanoes, diseases. If God has all of these chastising devices at his beck and call, it seems to me that anyone who sins against him, he can look after.
There are tsunamis and floods.
It's a quick answer and then we finish. It's a quick answer. It's a good point that gentleman has brought forward, and I have actually mentioned that thing probably a million times to my friends. God is almighty, he's all powerful. Why does he need us to make laws to save him from blasphemy or whatever? That is exactly why blasphemy is not Islamic law. It has not been mentioned in the Quran. That's why they call it an un-Islamic law. It is not, my dear sir, it is not an Islamic law. Some people have made it Islamic. And somebody earlier pointed out, or rather asked, why nobody opposes it. Before you oppose anything, before you go for something, you have to know the law, you have to know the book that you go by. And 99% people, at least 99% Muslims do not know their Quran. That's why they don't know what is Islamic, what is not Islamic. They go by other books called hadith or whatever they are. They are man-made things, like so many other books, and they can take them and do whatever they like, but they will not be talking about Islam.
But there is a lot of things which is not in that holy book.
If it is not in holy book, then it is not Islamic, and you have to use your own common sense and worldly experience to make your law.
And subjects like economics, geography, it's anti-Islamic because it is not in Islamic.
If you have two things. One is that all of you, because we got you all excited, you are more than welcome to write your comments, suggestions, questions, send it that. And number two, we would need your help because we, Family of the Heart, is a bit disorganized organization. We need your help to